Well, hello everyone. This is Christine, your VA from PA. I see we have a few people that have joined us at this point. I'll give it another minute to allow people to log on. This is a new platform for me, so please bear with me tonight if we have any technical difficulties. This whole webinar should be about 30 minutes, so I won't be keeping you too long. Okay, it's 7:01 and I'm going to get going. I want to thank you for joining me today on this webinar. Before I get started, there's a few housekeeping items. Just to let you know, this presentation is being recorded via YouTube, so there will be a replay, and all registrants will receive that link in an email so you can look at it at another time if you like. If you have any questions about anything that I go over, please put your question in the chat box and I'll get to those at the end of my presentation. And as I mentioned, this is a new platform. If you lose the connection, try to reconnect from the original link. This webinar platform is through Google Hangouts, and I found it's best if you have a direct connection versus using a Wi-Fi, a wireless connection. That's what I've found works for me. A little bit about who I am for those of you that are not familiar with me. I am Christine Roth-Deutsch, your VA from PA, and this is a new name for me. It's 1 month old, although I've been in business for 4 years now. And I work with business owners that are overwhelmed with getting everything done, that are stressed out, that need technology in their business, but it's just really not their forte. They need to use the internet with different applications, so they come to me. And some of the things that I help people with, of course, is email marketing. Uh, some will send me their content and I'll tweak it and put links in and make it look good, add images and whatnot. Um, and then other people, they need everything from the concept, content, images, and everything. So I can really do the whole ball of wax if that's needed. Some of the other things I do are website updates. I don't do any kind of coding. It must be straightforward, like a WordPress site or something similar, and I can do updates on the content, add blog posts, images, and whatnot there also. And then that also leads into social media. I do have a few clients that I do help with social media. Again, send me the content and I can post it and whatnot, or I can do research from the topics and ideas that they do give me. So, you know, that's, again, with any of these things, the clients that I do have, I am able to research for them from ideas that they give me, you know, what their customers might be looking for. And one of my favorite areas that I like to help several of my clients with is being a business manager, really. Helping them to stay moving forward in their business. I do hands-on work for them, but I'm also there reminding them, keeping them up to date on what they need to be doing so that they can move their business forward. And that part of my business is very similar to a lot of things that I did in the past when I volunteered. I have been president of numerous organizations over the years, and through that, I really gained a business sense, and I'm able to use all that I learned in my business now. So let's get on with the presentation. Move the slides forward here. Okay, email marketing. I'm wondering, how do I get the recipient to do what I want them to do? And what you're going to learn today is, one, why even use email as a marketing tool? And then we'll go into 8 elements of a basic email campaign. There's a lot that goes into email, but we're just going to look at 8 basic ones. And then for the more popular email marketing platforms, the ones that I see people are using these days, we'll just take a very brief look at those. So why even use email as a marketing tool? Every once in a while, something will pop up on social media. They go, oh, email marketing is dead. It's not. No matter what type of business or organization that you might have, the email marketing can help to grow your audience and convert those prospects into customers. And remember, email marketing is just one piece of the marketing puzzle. Social media is another. Social media, it's going to add to the whole process of engaging your audience and showing your expertise, your personality, in many aspects of who you are. But the gap in the sales process is that you can't control social media. You can control email. You can't control social media, but you can control your website. The posts, the tweets, and whatnot that you're putting out there numerous times during the day, hoping that the right audience is going to see them. And it's going to help. It's going to help to drive the audience to your website, which is where they can find your opt-in box and to your list. And from there, possibly over time, grow the sales. But with the email marketing, you will always show up in their inbox. With the social media, it's hit and miss. But all of these are pieces that are needed. It's just, which piece gets the appropriate amount of time, and what content are you putting out there. Okay? So how do you do a basic campaign? So one of the first things you have to look at is your list. Do you have a list? You see a pile of business cards here, and well, that can be a good starting point. If you've asked each person if you can add them to your list, because email marketing is permission based. Some of the platforms out there do require an approval email, an opt-in. So you can't just arbitrarily add anybody, to your list if they, have that. Most platforms impose some control over the spam. Constant Contact, for instance, I've seen them shut down accounts because somebody had too many spam reports on one particular email that they sent out. Um, I've seen this happen, with clients. But again, if you're legitimate, you can call your company up and they will get your account turned back on. So that's not a big issue. If you're legitimate, you explain to them what happened and they'll turn you back on. If you don't have business cards, everyone has a few names to get started. You have family, friends, a few people. You can explain to them what you're doing and ask them to help spread the word. And then there is the social media. We come back to that. See how this all ties together. You can create a newsletter, an e-zine, whatever you want to call it, and use that as a post in your social media and put a link in there to say, hey, sign up for my email list. So you can start generating emails now, even without a large list. Anywhere is better than no place to start with your email. And then once you create that email, you can pull that content apart and use each piece in blog articles, Facebook posts, tweets, and whatnot. And all of this is directing your reader to your website and ultimately to join your list. And you want to make sure that wherever you are, wherever you show up, your website, social media, your business card, wherever you're showing up, there is a link to sign up for your list. You need to have that everywhere. Give people an opportunity at every turn to sign up for your list. And in order to get them to sign up, you need to give them a reason. And we like to call that our IFO, irresistible free offer. So, say, to start a list, give them a reason that they should be signing up. So you're creating your first email, or maybe you've been doing it for a while. You have to look at the sent from address. when it lands in somebody's inbox, are they going to recognize that it's from you? Or is it going to be looking like spam? They're not going to have a clue who it's from. Um, Yahoo, some time ago, they had started to not allow uh, mass emails from Yahoo addresses come through. So I know in Constant Contact, they were having a problem with mailings going out. It's always best to use an address, uh, uh, your address that's associated with your website domain. I've seen it many times. People have websites, but then they're putting out there a Gmail address or a Yahoo address or whatever. It's very simple to set up an email address that is associated with your website domain. And then also, uh, what you see on the screen here, it is a snapshot from Google. For those of you that are not familiar with Google, they have instituted tabs and they separate the incoming mail. So again, you need the recipient to recognize you. So if it throws it on a promotions tab, but you want it in your main tab, you're going to recognize it and move it over there. So you just have to be aware of how you're showing up in people's inboxes. And then from that recognizable email address that it's coming from, you look at the subject line. Remember, you have about 3 seconds to catch somebody's attention, to get them to want to open that email. Well, think of your own inbox and how many emails you have coming in. How many are you opening and really reading? You're basing it on what you're seeing in the subject line. Some, for instances, I have here on the screen. 10 awesome resources to create fun images to share online. Numbers are great in the subject line. It catches the person's attention. You'll also see a few things in brackets. Video, tip of the week. The brackets work very well to draw the eye in. But tell them something that they're going to find in that email. Direct it to them. You see one there that's directed towards me. Take the day off, Christine. I think I should have done that. But yeah, again, think about your own inbox and what that looks like and what makes you want to read something from someone. And some other tips with that subject line. You don't want to use too much capitalization, but you want to capitalize the first letter of each word. You see some of them here, the top one, they capitalize the first letter of each word, and it stands out more than if you just capitalize the first letter of the first word. But you never want to capitalize the entire word. That's not good. That's very spammy looking. And you want to keep the subject line under 50 characters and about 5 to 8 words maximum. Remember that a majority of email is read on a mobile device, and long subject lines, they're not going to be read. People are not going to catch it. So you only have a few words to be able to catch people with that. So be careful of your subject lines. So then you're setting up your whole email, your template, okay? You need to be brand consistent, and this is across all boards with all marketing material that you have. You see an email here from Grime Fighters. I took this header from his website at the time. This is from last year. He has since changed this, but I used his logo and the colors that he used on his website to make it look similar. So that when people land in these different areas, they're going to recognize you. It's also a good thing if you're out networking and you have your own name tag, have that branded the same. Again, wherever you're showing up, make them look very similar. Here's another example On the left is an email that I set up to look like the website on the right. And I also added tabs in this one, the About Us, the Our Beef, Our Pork, and Pet Food from the website. So that way, when people are landing in these different areas, they're going to say, oh, I know who this is, Kessler Farms, whatever. But again, with your template, when you set that up, be brand consistent. So you've set up the template, and now you have to put something in the email. What are you going to put in there? Well, these are a few good things to remember about the content. Just the basics of be relevant, meaning you want to put something in there that the person is going to say, wow, I can really assimilate with that. That really makes sense to me versus, why am I reading this? So you have to think about the reader and how it's going to make sense to them. Be informative. Solve a problem. Provide resources to people. With the content, you don't always, and you don't want to be selling. You're building the know, like, and trust with your email marketing. So you want to give away some free information, educate the reader so that when they are ready to buy, they're going to remember you and they're going to come back to you. In your email, you also want to be visual. You don't want to have just words on the page, as if you just sat down and wrote them a letter and put it in the envelope and mailed it off. That's the great thing about technology. You can add so much, so many visuals to it. So put in a few images, okay? And be brief. Now, and all of this depends on what the purpose of your email is, okay? If it's a newsletter, don't make it a mile long, okay? Um, if you have a blog article to put in, you can start putting it in with a few lines, the first paragraph, but then link it to your blog post, the actual blog post on your website, to read more. So that's how you can keep things brief. Start something, but then throw them over to your website or to Facebook or wherever you would like to direct them to. Okay. You can also, I like to use polls. You can use the poll, MailChimp poll that you have, or even in Google Drive, you can create a poll and insert that into an email. And most importantly, make it about them. Make your content, again, that they can relate to it and they really appreciate receiving that information. Remember, there's tons of information on the internet, but you have to sit and find it. So if you're taking the time to send a personalized bit of information to the recipient, they're going to appreciate that. Not your whole list, but enough. Okay, so make it about them. And ultimately, for content, it's good to check out your competitors. Okay, find a few, subscribe to their list, see what they're doing. Check out their website. It's nothing wrong with checking out your competitors. Okay, so you have content, but then you also need what we like to call the CTA, call to action. And these are just a few of the many here. It could just be simple words, click to read more, and have it highlighted so it stands out, or download now. If you have an article or something that you want to give them, download it, click the button and learn more, or here's a free trial. There's many different things that you could be putting in that email, but you have to tell them to do something. People are not just going to read an article and say, oh, well, that was nice, and well, gee, I think I'll go and buy their service or buy their product. You have to tell them, go, click here and read the rest of my blog, and that's going to show you that they're interested. A few others that I can think of, talk to an expert, or join now or try it free. Think about what you want them to do. Again, this presentation is how do I get them to do what I want them to do? Well, ask yourself, what do you want them to do? Is there something real specific that you have in mind for them to do? So think about that call to action. Number 7, hyperlinks. And that goes back to the previous slide also with the call to action. But you can insert a lot of links throughout your whole email back to your website, different pages of your website. Again, with this template, you can see at the top I have the about, the catering, menus, and partners. And that looks just like the website. So each one of those tabs is going to take the person right to their website. And throughout the body of the email, if you mention your company name in the body of it, put the link into that. If you have a particular article, put some links in there. But a good, at least 8 to 10 different ways that they can click through to read more, to get a special offer, whatever. It's going to show you that they are interested in what you have to say. Number 8, test the email. What you see here are it's the same email sent to 2 different email addresses. I suggest 2, 3 at the most, whether it be a Gmail and a Yahoo or a Hotmail or any of the different platforms out there. You can see that it's the same content, but they look different. The one on the right has more space than the one on the left. Now you want to test to make sure you've done as much as possible. You might not get it perfect, but you can get it close. I mean, there's going to be some times where words are just way off center, and you really have to fix that. But this gives you a good idea how it's going to look in the different email platforms. So I do suggest that you test until you've got at least a few email campaigns under your belt and you know that the way you set it up, it's going to come through. I always test at least to 1 email address, always, because then you can also test all of your links, make sure everything's working and whatnot. But I highly recommend testing the email before you release that. Okay. So that's 8. And as I was putting this together, there's just so much out there. I added some bonus tips here. The fonts. Most platforms have a limited number of fonts, and I do find that some of them have some fonts that I would never use. Remember what people are reading these emails on: mobile devices, small phones, or a tablet. Even if it is a laptop, some of the fonts available out there just are not good for conveying information. Okay. Again, that comes through when you test your email. Really take a look at it. Take a look at it on a mobile device. Can the person read it? And then when you do start sending your email campaigns, send them on a regular basis. And this is going to vary from industry to industry. Somebody, say like a hairdresser, they can get away with sending emails every week. They'll have specials, they'll have appointments available, all sorts of things, and that's okay. And then other industries, can't think of one at the moment, you don't want to be sending every week. Every other week is okay. Some people only send once a month, but do it regularly so that the people are going to know that it's going to show up in their inbox at that time. And also the time of the day. Take a look at what's going to work best, and you have to play with that a little bit. What day of the week is best for you, what time of day is best for you. Some people will even read things on weekends, so you can't rule out weekends. Like I say, it varies from industry to industry. And then also the use of video. That is huge. Remember that people are lazy and they don't want to read a lot of text. So using video occasionally is great. And you want to put that in the top of your email because that's going to get their attention right away. If they open that, if your subject line is great and they open that email, then they see the video box right as soon as they open it, and they if you have a title on it, whatever, it's going to intrigue them. Okay. And I see a lot of good things happening with the video. And video is simple. Anybody can make a brief video from their phone, from their laptop. It's very simple. It doesn't have to be a professional job. Just show the people who you are, that you have good information. Again, keep it brief. Keep, a minute, 2 minutes at the most. Give them some good information in a video. Okay. And the email platforms, there's probably hundreds out there. I don't really know how many. These are ones that I see coming through that people are sending me information from. Aweber, Constant Contact, Mad Mimi is becoming very big, I see, and MailChimp. Um, I see MailChimp and Constant Contact for the small business, excellent tools. Uh, Simple. The MailChimp, a lot of people gravitate to because their basic plan is free. And when you're on a tight budget, that's great. Both of them have autoresponder capability. They're different, but you'd have to check it out to see what it is that you require. Um, Aweber is really a step up from all that. A lot of the more the coaches use Aweber, speakers use Aweber. Although I've seen a few of them coming to MailChimp. Um, and Mad Mimi, I'm seeing more people using Mad Mimi. I am not familiar with it. I do want to become more familiar with it. Again, it gives you all the basic necessities. And each one of these, as you're setting up a campaign, there's going to be odd things that happen. It's going to throw the font off or move your text somewhere. But until you've worked with it a few times, it'll take some time to get used to any one of these. And some people, for those reasons, prefer one of the over the other. They're able to understand MailChimp over Aweber, over Constant Contact. So it's just something you have to try. And all of them do have, well, Aweber you can try for 1 month for $1. The others do have some free trial time available. So that is good to just get it, even if you're not ready to send an email, get the free trial, get in there and start setting up dummy campaigns. Get used to it, see which one's going to work best for you. So if anybody does need some help with their email campaigns, I do offer a free 30-minute consultation. And this is my time trade link here. If you wanted to book 30 minutes, you can go to timetrade.com/book/BFN7N, and you can, in the next few weeks, schedule some time that we can talk on the phone. It's a phone conversation, so you can check that out. Does anybody have any questions about anything that I've gone over? Like I say, I'm happy to talk to anybody about their email campaigns. And like I say, this is the tip of email marketing. It is simple, yes, but in order to make it work really well, there are some things to know. And I'm always updating my knowledge base on this. So I don't see any questions. I do appreciate everyone who has joined me tonight, and I hope to hear from you in the future. Stay tuned for more webinars from your VA from PA, and have a good evening.